Hello, how's everybody doing? I am making this video today to talk to you guys about none other than Microstrategy stock. As you guys know, if you watch my channel, I really like the Bitcoin treasury companies. I see them, especially the two big ones, the Microstrategies and the Metaplanets of the world. Right? I see them as leveraged bets on Bitcoin. Which is cool. You know, it's like if you believe in Bitcoin, it's really hard not to believe in these Bitcoin treasury companies. And look at what Michael Saylor just did. 220 more Bitcoin out of thin air. Just literally out of thin air because of perpetual preferred stock. That is like incredibly low risk. And so once again, he's just buying up all of the supply of Bitcoin. You know, all these treasury companies are the governments, the institutions, it's the retail investors. You know, it's like, especially since everyone just got dumped, like everyone just got liquidated from this stupid China, you know, misunderstanding between export controls and export bans. That's a whole nother discussion, but the reason I bring it up is because, you know, it's just, you know, as Chicken Genius Singapore says on his X account, essentially if you're a whale right now and you just saw all these people just get liquidated, you know, because of over leverage, that's something that is very stupid. And to have in risk assets is leverage. Like, what are you doing? You're already going after a high risk, you know, asset. There's no reason to add more risk to it, right? But regardless, basically, there's a significant chunk of leverage that just left the crypto market. And because of this, you know, there's just a lot of opportunity. So if you're a whale, you know, what better time would there to be than to, you know, buy in some Bitcoin now? You know, it's, you know, because there's basically, in a lot of ways, like Chicken Genius Singapore says, there's not much stopping Bitcoin from going up, you know, as far as like more leverage or more like liquidations or anything like that. It's like, we are in a bullish time. And if you do believe that there's, you know, that the cycle's not over, that this cycle is going to extend, then, you know, these people don't know how to drive. Yeah, if you believe that the cycle is, you know, going to extend, then it's like, it's hard not to be bullish on MicroStrategy when they just keep buying and keep buying and keep buying at these lower rates of Bitcoin. You know, it's genius. I don't know why no one else thought about this before, like before today. You know, it's I guess before 2020, right? When Michael Saylor, MicroStrategy, started getting into this business. You have to be okay with you know, being made fun of. Essentially, you have to be okay with that. And as long as you're okay with that, you have a lot of money to make. You know, it's kind of like the people like me that have a lot of money in Tesla stock. I don't tell a lot of people. I tell you guys on my social media, sure, but I don't just go around telling everybody, hey, I've got a significant net worth in Tesla. And it's not like it started out that way. It's grown into such a large position. And it's similar to what I see MicroStrategy doing in my position. And I also have a lot of Metaplanet stock, and I've also got some Bitmine for the Ethereum treasury company exposure, right? So I've got call options currently. I'm not a financial advisor, so don't sue me, bro. But, you know, I do see at these deflated MicroStrategy prices at $300. It's like, I just find it hard to believe that people aren't going to make a lot of money on options and calls. You know, if you were to buy a call now, it's like, yeah, don't put your whole account into it. That wouldn't be smart. But it's like taking a flyer of like 5% of your portfolio or something. It's like, probably not a bad idea, you know? So especially when they just keep buying and keep buying and keep buying. These perpetual preferred stock is just, it's such an idea. And like you see all the time where like someone bought like $50 of Bitcoin for like the past like 5 years, like every week or every 2 weeks, every paycheck or every month even, you know? And it's just like, if you can be that prudent with your investing and that disciplined with your investing, It's like, what are the odds that you don't make an absolutely incredible amount of money when you're buying such an asset like Bitcoin, when there's so many ways that people are bullish on Bitcoin, whether it's just debasement of the US dollar or any other currency for that matter, or just like the simple fact that, you know, it's the hardest asset in the world, where it's like you've got entire industries built upon Bitcoin. You've got other cryptos, right? Tons of different cryptos built off of Bitcoin, or at least like not even necessarily built off of it, but just like in concurrence or parallel to it, right? You got the Ethereums, Cardanos, Solanas of the world, and all these other ones, right? Trump coin, you know, Dogecoin. It's like you have a whole industry. You've got now companies getting into Bitcoin as far as putting on their balance sheet, which everyone said that was going to happen in like 2020, 2021, and it's taken a few years, but here we are, you know. And you see the president of the United States owning almost $1 billion in Bitcoin by himself, and he has so much influence over the West world. It's like, and the politics here, where it's like, I mean, the writing is kind of on the wall, you know? So, I mean, it just, I don't know, man. It's like Michael Saylor. He, you know, all these other companies that are worth $100 billion, like, can you imagine how much sweat, tears, and blood was sacrificed for all this, for that market cap, you know? Compared to MicroStrategy is such a lean company with almost no overhead, other than like they got to pay their dividends for their perpetual preferreds. It's like, and what happens, you know, if Bitcoin goes to 1 million, you know, then you've got a company that has, even at today's prices, has, you know, $700-800 billion of net worth on the books in short-term cash and investments, right? Which no other company, not in the Mag 7, not in the world, has money like that. So it's like, what is phase 10? You know, at that point, if, you know, if they have $700 billion on the balance sheet, it's like at that point, they're probably at phase 10 or phase 20 or whatever of this plan. And what's going to happen next? It's kind of like these Mag 7 companies, right? It's like, yeah, Meta's making AI glasses, but it's like, what comes after this? You know, Tesla's making the Optimus robot and the Cybercab. What comes after this, right? It's like us as retail investors and even institutions can't really, we can guess, but that's all it is, right? It's like no company has ever had that much money. So it's actually, I'm not going to call it a singularity for MicroStrategy to have $700 billion on the balance sheet, but in a way it kind of is, because we've never seen it before and we don't know the true implications of a company with money like that, right? And that's assuming that Bitcoin just stops at 1 million. Right? So what happens when Bitcoin goes to 10 million? It's like 2040 or something, you know? It's like at that point, then they have 7 trill on the balance sheet. And that's really probably low, because they're going to keep accumulating Bitcoin forever. So that's why it's like, man, you know, Michael Saylor posts on his X account quite often. You know, almost every Sunday night, Monday morning when they're about to buy some Bitcoin, or when they did. And it's almost weekly. It's there's a ridiculous amount of conviction there. And I think you guys might have saw that BlackRock even went and bought like $5 billion worth of Bitcoin in this most recent crash at like $105,000 a coin or something like that. Where it's like, not only do you have the MicroStrategies, the Meta Planets of the world, but you've got the gigantic institutions buying up any dip of this hard asset. So it's like, yeah, a lot of people call it the Ponzi scheme, you know, but it's like, so is the US dollar, so is the Japanese yen, so is every currency ever existed. And this is the only one, Bitcoin is really the only one that can never get debased, and the only one that has like global recognition. So yeah, guys, it's a crazy world we live in. And when I hear people say that they don't know what they can invest in, like, you know, their parents and their grandparents had so many opportunities, you know, and that they're rich now because their house went up so much, or they bought gold or whatever, right? They could have bought an Apple back in the day. It's like, bruh, come on. AI and crypto are right here for the taking. You know, you have to pay inflated like valuations, right? Because Tesla's got like a 250 PE and Bitcoin's over 2 trillion right now, but guess what? There's never been an asset to go over $2 trillion in worth that's ever, went to zero. Never. It's never happened. So this would be a first, actually, if Bitcoin failed, right? And there's a reason why Tesla's at a 250 PE. The reason being, people think that there's a lot of growth in the top line and the bottom line coming, right? A lot of smart investors think that. A lot of institutions. I mean, you had Howard Lutnick, who's in Trump's cabinet, literally go on like CNBC or Fox or whatever, like 6 months ago, and tell everyone, hey, if you've got to be stupid not to buy Tesla stock. And then look what's happened since. It's doubled. And that's just now, right? It's still the same price that it was at in 2021. So the price of Tesla stock has essentially gone nowhere for 4 years. But look at the company. It's the same thing with Bitcoin, right? But except Bitcoin's went up a lot over the past 4 years. Bitcoin's at 115K right now. But you know what let me get it out. Okay. The same difference, so the same multiple from 15K to 125K is the same from 125K to $1 million. So if you were to buy Bitcoin at 15 and now it's 125K, you made a lot of money, right? You made almost 10x. But it's the same difference between now and $1 million. So keep that in mind. Don't think you've missed your shot on Bitcoin. It's like this asset's going to be around for a long time, and you want to be able to, tell your kids and your grandkids, hey, we have this generational wealth because, your dad, your mom invested some of their portfolio into Bitcoin or some of their portfolio into MicroStrategy. It's like, why would you leave these risk assets with no exposure? I'm not saying put 100%, but I'm saying at least 1%. I'm not a financial advisor, but to me, that is just common sense. Literally common freaking sense, right? You've got companies with some of the best entrepreneurs in the world, Michael Saylor, Elon Musk, Jensen Huang, Mark Zuckerberg, right? All these people. And like, what on earth are you doing not investing at least a little bit of your money into these crazy, crazy ideas, So, yeah. Like I said, this video is on MicroStrategy specifically because now they're over 640,000 Bitcoin, which means like 1 out of every 40 Bitcoins to ever exist are already in their treasury, right? And we don't know what the future holds for MicroStrategy. We speculate that there's going to be a lot of success, but as far as business operations wise, we don't know. No one knows except for Michael Saylor, maybe his management team or whatever, and they're working on stuff. They're cooking. For sure, they're cooking. So, yeah, guys, with that, if you made it this far, you definitely got to subscribe to the channel because, I make content like this all the time. I bring breaking news about stocks and crypto, and especially high growth AI and crypto related stocks and just cryptos in general. So, yeah, make sure to subscribe, like the video if you liked it, and have a great day.